Going. All right, here we go, ready to roll. We good, Robert? Back here on Full Contact Fun Addicts. You're here with your host, Favi Chulo. Got my man Miguel over here.
Peace.
Got a lot to talk about. Dando, who usually sits over here, he's on vacation. Now, Robert, where did he go on vacation?
He went to Cancun.
He went to Cancun, so it can't feel too bad for him.
Yeah, must
or
be
whatever
nice.
out there having a good time.
That's
so,
right.
Got a lot to talk about, of course. Big fight over the weekend. I don't know if you've heard about it. Little fight over the weekend. So we're going to cover that. Going to talk a little Bellator. Then I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming UFC fight night because I kind of like this card. And we talk about that a lot, paying a lot of money for pay-per-views and stuff like that. So we're going to get into that. But real quick before we get into talking about mixed martial arts, and I don't know what you would call, I guess it would be a boxing match with McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, but so I guess it's considered a boxing match because they had gloves on or whatever, boxing gloves. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, yesterday had the big pro wrestling show. It was called No Pity in Midway City, and Jonathan Malice, better known as John Della O, didn't actually wrestle yesterday. He's a promoter and gets everything going or whatever. And I was pretty surprised at the turnout. It was an afternoon show. Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Robert, the producer over there, was doing the sound, doing the music. And Robert, you got to get on mic and answer me one question. I've been wrestling professionally for almost 24 years. And I'm going to go on record as saying that was the hottest. I'm about 290 right now. I say I was 265 by the time I left. I couldn't. It was so hot. I could not stop sweating. I mean, I was just pouring. Robert, was it the same in there? Because we were in the dressing room, only came out for a little while to do the match. Robert was out there the whole time. Were you dying out there?
Yeah, it was really hot. It wasn't the hottest. Last summer, the air conditioning broke on one of the events at 555.
But they didn't have no air conditioning on because it's extra when you rent the place. They had one big fan in front of the bar. And I remember because I came out at the break to talk to some people, and I stood in front of the fan, and about 40 people go, "Get out the way of the fan, blocking it," or whatever. So it was hot, but I had a great time. With the pro wrestling, sometimes I have a really good time. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes it's like, because I've been doing it for so long. But I actually had a really good time yesterday. It was a good crowd. It was cool. Dello does a lot for the. What's the name of the Empowered?
Oh, the Empowered
Children Empowered or whatever. He does a lot for them. They come down, special needs kids, and they really have a good time. It's good for them.
Yeah.
Of course, okay, but we have a big meeting before the wrestling. No cursing, no this, no that. You gotta remind yourself. So I actually had a good time. It was myself and Alexander Vega against the Felines, who were grown men in mask or whatever, and our man Freddie Flores. He went over on a three-way against Tony Reyes and Angel Atu. So the team La Raza did really well yesterday, had a good time. But to my boy Alexander Vega, who was my tag team partner yesterday, they had the big Conor McGregor fight. Mm-hmm. But for the people who aren't into it, there's a lucha libre called Triple Mania, which is the huge, kind of like a WrestleMania, but for in Mexico for the AAA promotion.
Okay.
So they had a huge. It was the end all to be all. And I don't know how familiar you are with lucha libre, but when you lose the mask, it's huge. So they had a big mask versus mask match. It was Dr. Wagner against Psycho Clown for the mask. Place was packed. I personally have been a Wagner fan for years. I mean, I've wrestled with him when he came out here. We wrestled in South Central LA. Great, matter of fact, him and I are the same age, and he's still in the big leagues. So I thought for sure, I didn't think he was going to lose the mask, man, but he lost the mask, and it was huge. I mean, it was all over, out here, they kind of think of wrestling more of like a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in Mexico, it's like,
the real
still
deal,
real to them. I mean, it was on the, we'll put it this way. on the two biggest Mexican newspapers, well, Mexican newspaper and magazine, they had a big picture of Wagner and Psycho Clown and a little picture like that of Conor McGregor and Mayweather. That's how big it is out there.
Yeah,
so Alexander Vega came. He said, hey, man, I know you're a huge Wagner fan. I made sure to get you one of the original Dr. Wagner masks that actually fits. It's the real deal. So, hey, man, props to you. I really appreciate it. And then my daughter, she comes back. She gets me a Blue Demon. She gets me a Pentagon. So I made out like a bandit yesterday. I was, not only, even though I sweated my, I got the mask. So to my daughter, thank you, because she knew how much of a Blue Demon fan and a Pentagon fan I am. So she said, hey, I got these for you. And then, of course, Alexander Vega, he goes, hey, man, I know what a big Wagner fan you are and all that. So I brought this for you. So I made out like a bandit yesterday. So it was great. It was great. I had 2 meatball sandwiches. So Tadelo's mom, awesome having the meatball sandwiches over there. So I made out like a bandit. So I had a good time, man. Hey, Robert, who takes care of the sound and stuff over there, other than it being 186 degrees Fahrenheit inside that place. It was a pretty good show, right?
It was a great show, and for every single show just gets better and better.
Yeah.
There were a lot of new faces at this one, and they were really, really good. And I can't wait to see these new guys back. The guys from Vegas, they were pretty cool.
What did you think of the felines?
I can only imagine with the name, the felines.
Well, they had mascara was like a full blown cat or whatever. So, but they were okay. I mean, they had a pretty good following, man. I gotta admit, they a lot of people liked their gimmick. They were into it, but
yeah, but I mean. We saw what happened to them.
Exactly.
The little kitty cats. I mean,
nothing for nothing, but I've been around for a long time, man. And I don't even know which one is what. There's a smaller one and a taller one. The smaller one, I was chopping that dude, man, and I swear I thought I felt his spine. I mean, I just barely chopped it. Whack at and I could feel it. It was like, dude. So we had a good match and everything like that. Freddie Flores had a good match. So Delo's like, hey, man, I want to do one more. Let's do one September 16th. And, I want to do this. So it looks like we're going to be doing another one before. Kids go back they're already back in school now,
They're already
right?
back in school, yeah.
So we're going to do one, I think September 16th is the next one. So we'll keep everybody posted on that. So I just want to put that in there before we get to the real deal. I had a great time. It's weird. It's hit and miss. Sometimes I go and it just sucks, man. Because I'm a grizzled old man, so I had enough of that. But yesterday I actually had a really good time, man. I really had fun at that show. It went off really well, so I kind of look forward to the next one, which I'll probably hate since I had such a good time. So, anyways, props to Delo, man, for putting on a good show. Yep. Special props to Delo's mom for like we talk about here about putting on a show, about weigh-ins and stuff like that. It's the same over there. Delo's got to go buy all the food. He's got to buy the sodas. His mom, it's a whole family affair. You've been there before, right?
I've been a couple of
She's
shows,
making meatball sandwiches and they're dishing out nachos and all kinds of stuff. So it's a whole, like production or whatever there. So if you want to go check it out, we'll keep everybody posted on that. So had a great time. And I watched Triple Mania the night before as I had. Dude, I had the big fight on the big TV, and then I had Triple Mania on my iPad. Or whatever, so I was watching both. But once the main event came on, I'm like, forget this, man. I got to see what happens. So I'm going to give you my take on it, and then you tell me what you think.
Gotcha.
Okay. I had a feeling that McGregor was going to do well in this fight, strictly for the fact that he looked huge compared to Floyd. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I thought, man, he's got a longer reach. And then when they show him fight like against Chad Mendez and stuff like that, he's got so much reach and he kind of waits, comes back, and when he throws the punches after, he just connects because he's got so much reach. So I said, that's one thing. And then just the confidence, that he had. And his mindset was like, I got this dude, man. I totally got this dude or whatever. So first couple of rounds, I mean, dude, I was like, holy, he's got something here, man. If he keeps this up, he wasn't hitting him with a lot of power, but he was connecting. He was connecting. Yes. So I thought, if he can keep it up, he's going to bruise him up or he's going to split him.
Yep.
And I would have liked to have seen Floyd come back from adversity. I would like to have seen him got cut up. And let's see what kind of heart he has. Yeah. That's what I was looking forward to. Yeah. But, man, in that 9th or 10th round, I'm not going to say he was tired. I'm going to say he was exhausted, dude. He just had... So, you who fought in the cage, is it different? I mean, because he's only been, 25 minutes, and it's 5-minute rounds. To me, it seems like that would be harder than going 3-minute rounds and you get a minute rest and going back in 3 minutes. I mean, and that had to be the difference. I mean, he was just, I think if he would have had more cardio, he might have kept going and might have even eked out a decision towards the end. So does it make that much of a difference?
Just from my own personal, experience, I mean, obviously sparring and fighting are two different things, sort of. But the times I've sparred shorter rounds, I feel like I get tired much faster, believe it or not.
So do you is it because you expend a lot more energy in a short amount of time?
I was about to say, I would say yes, in the sense that you feel like you got to do all that work in that short round,
right?
And then you take a minute break, whatever, and then you go another 3 minutes, as opposed to if you're going 5 minutes, you can start off slow, feel out process, you don't.
Because in pro wrestling, this is what happens. You gas the same too. You're going hold to hold. You're moving back and forth. So what it's called is a rest hold. I'll grab somebody and I'll put them in a rest hold, and I'll catch my breath, and then I'll keep going. It's kind of the same in a jiu-jitsu tournament or whatever. If I get the top position, I'm gonna hold you for a minute. I'm gonna catch my wind. I'm gonna get my breath, and then try to go for submission or whatever. Now in a boxing match, you can't do that. It's go.
Yeah.
So was that the difference?
I would say that also might have a big factor to do with it, in the sense that perfect example, when it appeared that he was rocked, you can tell he was trying to clinch, per se.
Yeah, he would get almost underhooks,
and you could maybe lean on him for a second and catch your breath.
But you only get 1 or 2 seconds before they break you up.
Yeah.
Robert, what do you think?
What's up?
Unfortunately, I've been on both sides, or all three actually, because me and Steve used to go 15-minute rounds, just hands before, just because we wanted to see how we were. This is way back in the day, though.
Right.
That was at the old dojo before I went across the 3 dojos ago. The one that was all on the other side. So, yeah, man, it's super hard to maintain a striking pace, especially in a ring. We had the full like dojo, the whole mat section. So like I could get away a little
It didn't seem like the ring made that much of a difference. It seemed like Conor. Well, plus Floyd fought a different fight. He was actually coming forward instead of backing and moving or whatever. So that really wasn't a difference maker right there. The difference was he drug him into those later rounds, and he just got gassed. Now, do you think if he would have had? Okay, here's 2 questions I have for you. First one. Do you think it would have behooved him to have got a boxing trainer, like let's say Freddie Roach or something like that, to say, hey man, you got to spar 1,000 rounds, to have this fight because you're going to get gassed.
Yes.
So, but he kept his same trainers or whatever, and it kind of like that's what happened. It was gonna eventually. That's what's gonna. And it seemed like Floyd knew, right? Like he said, he's gonna gas in these later rounds, and I'm gonna. And it exactly. Came to fruition.
That's an interesting piece that you guys talked about, because I saw you guys know who John Donaher is, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So John Donaher posted an interesting post about what he notices about just your MMA athlete comparison to a boxing athlete, of how the muscles and the structures of how your body reacts to different types of training. And he was saying it's not possible in that short amount of time. Basically, it's like
it's two different athletes.
Yeah, but he said by the end of the day, though, the way he looks at it and what he hopes everybody sees is that there's this whole big thing between boxing versus MMA, and they, how we get a little bit.
Well, there's not really a difference because Andrew Toney or whatever, Jamie Toney, whatever his name is, fought Randy Couture, took care of him really quick. Yeah. So there's a big difference. Yeah. I mean, those guys can't come into the MMA world, but Conor kind of proved that he had the formula. If he would have had the stamina, it could have been a different outcome.
Yeah, that's exactly what Don Hare said. He said, like, look, guys, at the end of the day, take it the way this is. It's like we can come there and compete with you and go 10 rounds. You cannot come over here and last 1 or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Conor McGregor's just a character. I mean, it was just a draw. I mean, for like I just said, we're talking before we went on the air. My wife was like, you know what? I think I want to get this fight. I want to see what happens. She goes, that guy's not scared. So to get the average person, you got 2 personalities or whatever, and it was just funny. I mean, Conor was like, he had no fear. I mean, he started off kind of crazy, like, dance for me, boy, and then they were like, hey, and it just kind of snowballed from there. and people were interested. That's why they made so much money.
That's why they made money, yes, I
So
agree.
now, with the amount of money that they made, why would Conor McGregor even continue with the UFC? Why wouldn't you just retire? You retire as a 2 different weight champion. You went 10 rounds with the supposedly the most dangerous man in boxing. What's left for him?
2 reasons. One, there's a 40-60 split with
Right.
UFC. So he didn't make that whole 100 million. If they break that 100 mil, he gets 60. UFC gets 40.
Oh man, shoot! I can deal
What are you
with
talking
that.
about, Mayweather?
No,
No,
talking about
Conor.
Conor.
No, Conor got 30.
No. Conor's gonna make 100 million. 30 is guaranteed for show, not pay-per-view.
Right.
Not.
Right.
I can only
Once
imagine how much
everything comes
Mayweather,
in.
in fact, is making, though.
250.
250.
300 is what's estimated.
Right.
As long as they break that Pacquiao numbers,
Right.
and which they think they did.
Oh, I think they're gonna far surpass it.
Yeah, I think
Because
so, too.
everybody was watching. My neighbors, everybody got the fight.
So that's the one piece. He's not making as much as it comes out. Like, because I mean, think about it. Like, you're gonna want to eventually build your brand to the point where you can make that whole bank like
Well,
Mayweather
dude,
is.
how much money does he need? He's got. Come on, man. And here's a question too. Do you think he's gonna come back with the same vigor that he had before? I mean, when you're sitting on, okay, let's say it's 60 million. Okay, you could deal with that.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna go fight. I don't know, rematch with Chad Mendes. Do you think he's gonna train as hard when it's like, dude, I'm
only getting a
set.
couple,
Yeah,
100
if I lose the
Gs or
belt, who
something.
cares?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
or whatever. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have as much motivation to defend the belts in the UFC as he did before.
The thing with Conor and don't get me wrong, I'm not a Conor hugger at all. Because I
Don't lie.
I'm not.
I saw your shirt.
Until recently, I really until the Aldo fight, I was like, I kept telling her Aldo's gonna kill him. Aldo's
Yeah.
gonna kill him.
Yeah, I
there's no
thought the
way.
same
There's
thing.
no way. There's no way. Right, and then he beat Aldo. I'm like, he lucky motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, as a one punch, it seemed
Yeah,
like,
just-
yeah, which happens a lot.
And then he just kept going and going.
Yeah.
And then when he took out Alvarez,
Oh,
he
dude,
did,
when
then
he-
I was like,
yeah.
okay, I believe.
He picked him apart. Dustin Poirier picked him apart, man.
But let's be
The dude's a
real.
real
and,
deal.
and just in my humble opinion, I don't feel he's fought dudes that tough yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that the dudes he beat aren't hard. Like, I mean, yeah, dude, Jose Aldo's a bad motherfucker. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But as far, I mean, just look at Chad Mendes. A dude with like beyond your general, whatever your average wrestling skill. Dude, he almost had him beat. Had he
Yeah,
not gone for that out of position,
I think it's always going to be that way, you know?
I think
Real quick before we go to Robert, you're here. You're at Full Contact. Fun-Addicts. Got
Yep.
Miguel on my
Indeed.
left. Dando's not here. He's on vacation in Cancun. And got Robert, bringing us in and out, taking care of everything back there. And we're still talking, which will probably be debated forever.
Yep.
The Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. And we'll talk a little bit about that. As far as motivation is concerned, I personally, my take, I don't think he's going to be half as. What bigger fight can you have than the fight he just had?
you can't get a bigger fight.
you can't
but-
get a bigger
Right.
fight. Yeah.
But they're gonna make that trilogy fight with Nate Diaz next. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what they're gonna do.
that makes sense, and that's what people will want to see. But I don't know if Conor's going to be for what?
Well, not just that, but now he's going to have everybody else, asking for
Yeah.
extremely large paychecks,
But what I'm trying to get to is like the kind of person I see in Conor McGregor is obsession.
Right.
Doesn't like losing. Doesn't give a shit what it is about when
That's
he's
true.
gonna get in
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's the same thing with me. Like if I'm gonna do something where my name's out there, I'm not gonna half-ass it because that's on me. No matter what,
Yeah.
I'm worried about putting.
But here's the thing. Like, okay, he just had a baby. So people go different ways. When they have kids, they're like, oh man, I gotta step it up. I got mouths to feed. That gives them the motivation to continue. I'm not gonna be there now. Dude's got money. So what's the he's fought supposedly the baddest boxer around, took him pretty much to the limit. I mean, he did a lot more than some of the Canelo and stuff like that. So I'm just thinking, I don't think there's anything left. I mean, what do you do? Dana White sits down and goes, well, I want the trilogy with Nate. You know what I mean?
Nate who? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what he's going to say.
I don't know. I mean, it's the same question I can ask about BJ. Why does BJ keep coming back? He's got
You know,
money. He's
I
got a
think those
shit ton of
fighters.
money.
I think those fighters they all think that they have one left in them. Like Chuck Liddell, after he fought Rashad, I thought, oh my God, dude, that's got to be it. I mean, that was like probably one of the worst knockouts I've ever seen. And he came back and he wanted to fight Vanderlei, which was a pretty good fight. And then, what's his name that knocked him out? George Gurgel's guy, Rich Franklin.
Oh, Rich Franklin.
You know what I mean? So it remains to be seen. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, I think it's going to be at least a year before they even start talking about what's going to happen next with them. Would you agree? Would we agree on that?
I think so.
December.
Oh, wow. That quick?
December. Yeah.
So you think the Nate Diaz trilogy is... I mean, that's
December.
the fight. That's the only fight I think people are going to want to pay to see.
I'd pay to see him fight Max Holloway again.
Nah.
I would.
Hey,
I
well,
would.
everybody has different opinions.
Yeah,
They'll see. But speaking of Nate Diaz, did you hear what happened with him and Brendan Schwab?
I seen it.
And he flipped him off and called him a bitch and all that stuff. Did you see that?
I saw it. Did you see the second part of that?
No,
shit?
what happened on the second part?
So there's a second interview with I think Anik. Brendan Schaub interviews Anik and says what happened, and then so Brendan Schaub put his thoughts together what really happened, and his side of the story was he came there to like, hey, I see Nate Diaz, UFC, MMA.
Right.
Let me go hang out with him because everybody else is boxing guys.
Right.
So then he walks up to him and tries to talk to him and try to get him to promote himself, getting ready for that trilogy.
Right.
So Nate goes, oh, your boy lost. And he started digging into Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
How you feel? Because, I mean, Nate's one of those dudes. You're either on my side or you're not, right?
Right.
That's how he sees the world.
Well, that for the people that are listeners on Full Contact Fun-Addicts, back when they had the first BJJ Expo over at the Long Beach Convention Center, Sergio and I did a live broadcast from there. And Nick Diaz never showed up. It was supposed to be the big fight. Him and Buchecha were supposed to have the big jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
So there was tons of booths everywhere. Metal Militia had a booth. On the Mat had a booth. So we're selling all kinds of stuff. And then we had the radio show on the other side of the tarp, or whatever you call it, Easy Up. So we're doing the show and everything like that, and we finally get a break. You know, Scotty says, hey, throw this blanket over. We'll keep an eye on your stuff. You guys can go ahead and go get something to eat. So he said, cool. So we start walking out. So the bathrooms were just completely packed. I mean, it's like the Rams football game. There's lines everywhere. So we go upstairs. I'm using the restroom or whatever. I turn around and I see Nate Diaz in line. And I don't want to shake his hand. I just finished using the bathroom and I had to wash my hands. I said, hey, what's up, man? Like that. And he immediately turns around and goes, what's up, man? What's up? Like that. I go, no, man. I go, I'm Fabiano from On the Mat. I go, I think you're coming over with us after you finish Metal Militia. And he's like, oh, all right, man. Yeah, you know, cool, whatever. So, all right, man. I say, well, don't kill yourself over there, man, because if your brother doesn't show up, we're supposed to have you after. I know you're gonna get tired. He's like, oh no, you know, it's cool. Okay, all right. So he's already on the defensive. He's already, hey, what's up, man? You know, whatever. And then after a moment on the mat, you come and say, okay, cool. So Renato Laranja, who are you familiar with Renato Laranja? He's
Mr. Orange?
Yeah, he's a funny dude, man. I mean, his stuff is really good, but you don't play that with Nate Diaz, man. I didn't even know what was going on. He's signing in there. He was doing Lucky Gee, I think, for us for a while. He's with somebody else now, but he was doing Lucky Gee. So they had him in there signing. So Nate goes to Metal Militia and signs for 2 hours because Nick doesn't show up. So he finally finishes 2 hours, comes over to us, and Scotty's like, hey, man, you know, and Nate tells him, hey, man, I've been signing for 2 hours straight. He goes, let me just take a minute to relax or whatever, and I'll come back. And Scotty's like, yeah, no problem. Just make sure you come back. So he goes to go watch the jiu-jitsu tournament for a little bit, which was a whole nother thing. People were punching each other and everything in that tournament. So he comes back to start signing. Now when Nate comes back, the line just automatically just quadrupled or whatever it's called, all the way down the thing. So he's signing. So we're doing the show right on the other side of the tarp. So you know when you hear somebody like about to fight, you could tell the difference between a real fight and just like talking.
Yeah.
And I hear him and I'm going, nah, that don't sound right, man. And then he drops the N-bomb twice. And I said, no, that's a fight. And then I turn around the corner and he's squaring up with them and he's telling, what's up, man? What's up? Boom, he pushes him. There's young kids and everything in line. So he goes after him. I grab him. I actually grabbed him from behind. I'm like, Nate, dude, take it easy, man. There's kids or whatever. And he's like, no, fuck that. I'll whoop this nigga's ass. And I'm like, oh, no, don't say that, man. So Scotty comes over and he goes, what's good? He goes, go over there right now, Nate. Go over there. So he goes over there and he's asking Renato Laranja, but he goes, went out of character, totally. Like, I don't know what happened, dude. And I went like this. And next thing I know, he squared up with me. I don't know. He goes, all right, man. So he walks over and he tells Nate, hey, man, come on, dude. He signed like maybe 20 autographs. He goes, come on, dude, you got to calm down. And that was it. He was already in that mode. F that dude. And he's Stockton bitch and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, take it easy, man. Come on. And he goes, so Scotty goes, you know what? Just go home, dude. Just go forget it. Go home. So he starts to walk away, and when I turn, he's walking right towards him again. So he goes right after him. So I had to grab him again. I grabbed him from behind. I'm like, but when you're holding him, I'm thinking he's gonna turn around, and start swinging on me or whatever. So I don't have him fully in the grip. I'm just holding him like, going, Nate, please, man, just go home, dude, go home. And he's Stockton, bitch, and all this. So finally he turns around. And he goes and he walks off. And I'm like, thank God, So the dude is the real deal. But we get back to the radio station and, a father walks up to me and he goes, hey, man. He goes, what was all that about? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, well, my daughter's 11 years old and she's a huge Diaz Brothers fan. And he's dropping N-bombs and FUs. And I'm like, hey, man, dude. I'm so sorry. We had to totally do damage control after that. So the dude's like that 24/7, man. I mean, it just, regardless of what people say or if they think it's an act, I'm here to tell you, it was the real deal.
And from my understanding, Nick isn't any different.
No, same thing. Yeah. He never showed up, so but I've dealt with Nate, and I'm like, dude.
A quick story. A personal friend of ours was in downtown Huntington Beach, and he was getting out of the car, and Nick and Nate were right there.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, where's the weed at?" Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we don't do that stuff." Then Nick turns around and goes, "Fuck you, then you fucking hipster," and drops derogatory slangs for homosexuals. I'm like, bro, he said, "Yeah, dude, they were like staring us down and everything." We're like, "We just got out of the car."
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that 24/7, But I mean, dude, everybody gets older and stuff like that. You gotta. I mean, when does that end? Well, I mean, you've already proven. Both of them have proven. I mean, I pay money to see him because you're going to get a fight. But I mean, you gotta stay in character 24/7 or whatever, So it's like, dude, but which is cool. I mean, do your thing or whatever. Sooner or later, you're gonna run up on the wrong person or whatever. Whatever's that's you. But dude, when people come up to me and they're like, "Hey man, my daughter's 11 years old and all she heard was the N-word and the F," and it's like, what can I say? I'm like, I'm sorry, or whatever. I think Scotty gave him. They didn't even want the pictures anymore after all that, so he gave him something like keychains or something. I can't remember. So we had to do a lot of damage control. So, anyways, that's the story on that. That's what happened. It remains to be seen. I don't think there's going to be any more sort of motivation for Conor McGregor after that, because that to me that seemed like the epitome of your career,
the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if he does come back and fight, I don't think his heart will be truly in it. But then again, who knows? Who knows? Maybe somebody will come out of nowhere and challenge him or something, and we'll have a big fight.
I forgot to mention one more thing. I think that they're talking about giving him stake in UFC.
Oh, fudge.
Oh, jeez.
That's another reason for him to fight, because he makes way more money.
Well, who knows? I mean, that's motivation for anybody. So we'll see what happens.
Well, remember, after he beat Eddie Alvarez, he did say that, that he wanted some sort of stake in, or branch out and do his own Mayweather-esque promotion.
They all kind of get that way after a while. You know what I mean? Tyrone Woodley, once he started getting some wins, he started talking stuff on Dana, and Dana came back. And then I heard Demetrius, same thing. He, I'm the best and you shouldn't talk about me like that. So when they get to a certain point, I guess they
I don't know if you saw, I mean, I don't have Twitter, but just from the stuff you read online, a few even lower tier, if you want to call them that, fighters were like, I don't care about that fight, but I just care that we better start making, 7 figures.
John and I, Delo, talk about this a lot. You can't let the inmates run the asylum.
I agree.
Or whatever. So you have to have somebody that can keep a lid on that. With the pro wrestling, that's what John does. He says, look, this is what's going on, and that's it. If you don't like it, you're not going to work for me. Yeah. So I think Dana has to kind of be the same way, but he has to walk a fine line because this is my money maker here. Yeah. I don't want to make you mad, but, you have to. So it's the business, man. We'll see what happens. I've dealt with Dana White, and I've had people that deal with Dana White, and that's the way he is. It's his way, and that's that. You know, this is way back in the day or whatever when I was with Tap Out. But he was cool with us, but then UFC was just getting off the ground. I think when you get to a certain point and you're the man, then that's what happens. But anyways, we'll see what happens with that. We'll talk a little bit about UFC Fight Night coming up. But for the people listening to us, you're here. You have Full Contact, Fun-Addicts. Got my man Miguel over here with Favi Chulo. Got Robert controlling everything over there. Dondo's not with us because he's relaxing out in Cancun. I can just picture Dondo right now in a black Speedo laying on the beach with a lot of tanning oil on and just hanging out right there, drinking one of them fruity
literally
drinks.
hanging out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
One
Hanging
of them
out.
fruity drinks with an umbrella and all that. So, anyways, huge Bellator on Friday. Go ahead.
Sorry. I forgot about the comments.
Go for
it. Aaron says Connor got his own sponsors too for this event. No Reebok. She's wondering what he made.
Because it was a boxing event.
Boxing event,
separate from there. See, that's got a lot to do with it too, man. You know, with the sponsorships. Go ahead, Robert. Anybody else? We good?
That's it for now.
Okay. Canelo, if you're listening, go ahead and tell us what you think. So it was a great weekend all around because Bellator was on Friday. Our boy Henry Corrales fought.
Yeah.
He fought Noad Lahat.
Yes.
Lahot. Or whatever. 3-round unanimous decision. The only thing that sucked that it was on Spike.com. They didn't put it on the main
No, it wasn't
TV.
televised, unfortunately.
Yeah, so not that many people got to see it. He got the win.
Yep.
So he had 2 in a row. So I think they should go ahead and bring him. Next show should be
I hope so.
on TV,
I hope
right?
so. It should be. I think so. You know, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's earned his way back up.
Would you agree, Robert?
Yeah, and dude, I watched that fight because Miguel made sure that everybody knew how to watch it.
Yeah.
I almost got into a car accident because I was driving and watching it, which I shouldn't have done. But I'm not gonna miss. So I'm not gonna miss my boy's fight. So I actually pulled over because I'm gonna want to get. So I pulled over. To watch the fight. Dude, that Lahat guy's legit, and he's
it was a battle.
tough.
It was a battle.
So I mean,
and you saw some of the pictures afterwards. They were both bruised up and everything. And hey, but at least he came. Say, hey man, great fight, everything, good camaraderie, or whatever. But that's the way Henry is, man. That's what we talk about. He's either gonna go out on a sword or he's gonna win. You know, so that was a good. I don't want to say test because he's been tested many times before.
Oh man,
but,
are you kidding?
Yeah,
Talk about you know.
Well, when they threw him into the deep end with Daniel Strauss
right off the bat,
whatever,
you know,
yeah,
Daniel
you know what I mean?
Strauss.
But he's always been that way. I remember training him and Frank Park and Randy and all that. I can't remember. I think it was Randy was getting ready for a show, King of the Cage, and that's just the way he is. You know what I mean? He's like, you know what, dude, I'm down. I don't care who you are or whatever. If the fight's signed, let's just do it. So when he said, yeah, man, I signed with Bellator, and he's always gonna fight Daniel Strauss, I thought, man, you know, don't be afraid to throw him right into the deep end, you know, or whatever. So, you know, like we were saying, once you fight somebody like that, the other guys, I'm not going to say they're easy, but, you know, he's like, okay, well, I got this dude next or whatever, and he always comes to fight. Talked a little bit about him, you know, working out in Arizona. He comes over here, trains, gets different looks. 2 fights, 2 wins. Going to probably bring him up to the next level, put him back on TV. Where do you think he goes from there?
Man, I mean, he keeps racking up those W's, man. He's going to go after the 145 belt.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's what I see him eyeing next after, you know, maybe another W, maybe another 1 or 2, whatever, you know.
Now, in your personal opinion, I'll pose this question to Robert too. You think it's a good move to him to be over there at the MMA lab because he's training with like Ben Henderson and people like that. So many people have been moving camps. Sarah McMahon went to go train with Team Alpha Male or whatever. So many people. Now, do you think he should stay in Arizona, work with those guys, maybe come back over here and train with De La O and them, Frank Park and all those guys over here? Or should he completely maybe go somewhere else to get another look or whatever? What do you think? Me personally, I think he should. I think he should, you know, hey man, I'm gonna work a few weeks over here at the beginning just to get some different looks, and then I'll come back and I'll work with MMA Lab, and then maybe come over just to get some different looks.
I thought he looked money.
There's no doubt he looked money.
I mean, I thought he looked money. I think maybe, you know, I don't want to say permanently, but has he found a home? I think he found a home at the lab. I think they sharpened him up.
I think he's happy there.
He's
I
happy
think
there,
he's content and coming over here every once in a while just to keep the tools sharp or whatever. But me personally, I think when you get to a certain level, you might want to just see some different looks or whatever. I don't think either way. I don't think it's going to make a difference for him because he just comes to fight.
No, that's right.
You know, you can't teach heart.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody doesn't have it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I think
Robert?
I think he needs to be in a camp that has as many high-level people to compete with that are actually
gotta
in
bring it to
shape,
him.
that are going to push him, because personally, me and Miguel and you, we've been in there with him. I know the kind of pace
And
that
he
guy's
doesn't.
set.
I was gonna say he
That
does
was the other
not.
thing too, yeah.
There's no off day.
There's no backup.
It's
with
just
him.
bam
no,
the whole time coming straight ahead.
Yeah.
So
There's
hey,
no backup.
well, we look forward to it, man. Hey, great win for Henry. He's just gonna keep moving up, and
He
there's
looked
nobody,
great. He looked
nobody who
great, yeah.
deserves it more than him. The dude puts in the work. Doesn't. He's not one of those guys saying, "Well, I don't think I want to fight this guy," or make an excuse. Oh, this is the match. Bam, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand it. He's actually a very intelligent kid.
Oh, sure.
Like, okay, man, but he's super intelligent. He doesn't come off that way because he's always that one word type of guy.
Yeah.
And he just let's get it. That's how.
You know,
but he's
you know what I
super
call him? I
intelligent.
call him the smooth operator, because he's I don't want to say quiet, but he's just real like that. You know, kind of mellow or whatever. He's not Conor McGregor. You know, walking all crazy. That's just the way he is. You know, come straight ahead. This is what's going to happen. Bam, let's do it. So definitely look forward to it, man. Like I said, nobody deserves it. We're talking about paying dues.
Oh, no, yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
that dude deserves
Yeah.
it more than anybody. Now, the other fight, Vita Arteaga. I've had her on my regular Wednesday show. When you come to fight, I don't care if you win or lose. When you come to fight, I want to put you on, because I want people to know, hey, this person comes to fight. If you see her on TV, get it or watch it or whatever, because it and she's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So she fought Bruna Ellen, who's from Brazil. She was,
Brazil,
I
yeah.
guess she was a karate person or something like that. And she got the decision. But I'm telling you, it was a perfect example of Vita chasing her around that whole cage. Again, literally turned her back and ran the other way. So she was getting the nod because she would run from her, but then she would stop, wait for her to throw a punch, and then she'd shoot in and get her on the ground. You know, so I don't know what the judges, we don't know what they're looking for, specific judges. But Vita Arteaga continually kept coming forward, kept chasing her, kept going after her, kept throwing punches, and she loses a decision, split decision, because of that. Now, here's my take. You gotta bring that, dude. You gotta shrink that cage. When you can turn your back and run, something ain't right, man. You know, Conor did a good thing of cutting off people before like that, but you know, it's just far and few between. You gotta get in there and fight. So she loses a decision. What do you think?
I was surprised she lost.
Yeah.
I thought maybe at least a split decision would have gone to
Her.
To her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Robert, do you agree? You gotta come and fight in earnest.
I agree with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially women, they always bring it, you know. And her, Vita, she comes at you, man, and she's gonna put a fight. I just hate to see somebody who's coming to fight and going at, and the other person's just running, just
Yeah.
taking off and punching, and okay, let me do just what I need to do to win.
Yeah.
You know, that was a perfect example of that. So Vita, if you're listening, hey man, we look forward to your next fight. I think I even texted her and said, hey man, absolutely nothing to hang your head about. So we look forward to that. Anything before I go on to the next one? You guys good? AJ McKee. Okay. I'm good friends with his dad. AJ McKee was wrestling for Poly High School when I was coaching at Milliken High School. And the kid was, look where the genes that he's coming from. Now, for the people listening to us, if you're not familiar with Antonio McKee, I'm going to go on record as saying, cardio-wise, there's nobody with more cardio than Antonio McKee. Luis Vargas, one of the guys that I train with, who's at Shoot the Box now, he went over there and trained for 2 weeks, and he said, I felt like I was in the military. He goes, that guy would run us to death and cardio us, and he'd be right there, right with us. You know, the dude is just a machine. So when you're coming from something like that, I'll tell you, they had an open workout at Metroflex Gym in Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
And I went to go check it out. That's when baby Kimbo Slice,
Baby Slice, yes.
was training. AJ was training, and they had another, the wrestler dude from Arizona State. What's his name?
Bader?
Arizona, no.
No.
Not Ryan Bader. I forget it. You know what I'm talking about.
Jenkins?
Jenkins.
Bubba Jenkins. Bubba Jenkins.
Bubba
Bubba
Jenkins.
Jenkins, yeah.
So, and they took everybody up to Big Bear, you know, and we're all training and stuff like that. So I actually got to stay and see the whole training. So to me, I think the future is humongously
huge.
bright
It's open
for
wide
AJ
for him,
McKee.
yeah.
I think, you know, they put him up against Blair Tugman, which was a good fight for him. Blair Tugman's a good fighter, not not like throwing him in against Daniel Strauss like they did Henry, but nonetheless, kind of bringing him up, for lack of a better term, bringing him along slowly. So I think he's, what is he, 8-0 now or something like that. So good genes, good training. What do you think's next for him?
That dude's an animal.
Henry Corrales.
They've been scheduled to fight before, and Henry got hurt. So that's what they're looking for. Now, I mean, how do you think that fight will go? I mean, Henry's going to come right after him, and AJ's going to be moving and sticking and probably trying to get him to the ground.
That's a tough one to call, man. That's a tough one to call. What do you think?
It depends how the training camp goes for Henry, but yeah, I mean, he's got all the right people, the right tools to get him to
and the genes, man. I mean, he was a beast, man. And I would tell my guys, dude, don't let him intimidate you if you know what you're doing. Go out. But they were intimidated from the jump because he was just so good, pinning people and stuff like that. So he's been, I don't want to say been bred to do this, but it's in the genes, man. And it's just a matter of time. Now, working for King of the Cage, we're doing a show in Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. Frank Schumann was the man out there. He was just going through people, like it was nothing. I don't want to say nothing, but just really devastating people out there. Now, this is Midwest. This is Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. So Jeff Mahalik, who's a promoter out there, he called me and says, hey, can you come and work? I said, yeah, no problem. He goes, Schumann's going to fight for the belt. And I go, well, who's he fighting? And he goes, Jesse Juarez. And I said, Jesse Juarez from out here, Torrance? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's a big step up for that kid. He goes, yeah, they're going to fight for the belt. And I said, okay, all right. So I thought, man, that's he's good, but he's been fighting people out here in the Midwest. Jesse has been around for that again, Antonio McKee is his trainer, and stuff like that. So they got up there on a Thursday because he was cutting weight and getting ready for it. I was there on Friday for the weigh-ins. So I get there, I see Jesse, hey, how you doing? He goes, oh, I'm good, man. I'm on weight, I'm cool and all that. So they weigh in, both of them make weight. Jesse comes up, he says, hey, man, I'm going to go replenish, get ready for the fight tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, all right, man, good luck. Okay, see you. Frank was kind of hanging around and like grabbing the belt and putting it on. And it's like, yeah, man, what's up? And I'm like, dude, you might want to, replenish, get your rest, bro. It's going to be a big fight tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I got this, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. Now you can't show any bias at all, because I'm doing the announcing and stuff like that. This place was packed. All Schumann fans, because they've been following him for such a long time. So the only people who really knew was me and Antonio. And Jesse comes like, how you feel, man? I feel pretty good, whatever. He's warming up. And I see Frank, he's got his hands around, but he's walking around. He's talking to people, and stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't think this kid knows what he's
up for, man. Yeah. What he's up against, yeah.
So we go through the whole card. It was a really good night of fights. Crowd was hot. So get out there. I announced Jesse Juarez, everybody's booing and, all that. I announced Frank, boom, the place is just going nuts. So, I get out the cage, I go to my seat, I'm getting my cars ready for the next fight. Bam, the bell rings, they get out there. Schumann throws a few punches or whatever, Jesse's kind of moving. I hear Antonio's literally right next to me. He's like, you know what, close distance, get him to the ground. Boop, boop, takes him down, choked him out that quick.
Oh,
it was like maybe 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the first round. So he chokes him out. He taps. It was silent. It was silent. All you hear is Antonio going, I told you. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? And I was like, oh my God. So I go in there, and that was the first time ever that I announced, the King of the Cage welterweight champion, blah, 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 Jesse Juarez, and it was just silent.
Everybody left bitter.
I was like, God dang. So, he was, hey, man, good fight or whatever. And I told Frank, I said, hey, man, you have nothing to be ashamed of. That is a proven fighter. And then I was telling you, that's a big step up. And he's like, yeah, I know, man. I should have, how it is after you lose and all that. So that was cool. On the way back, we all rode together. It's about a 2-hour drive to get to the airport. So it was me, Antonio, Jesse, 2 of the cameramen. Cecil Peoples was up in front. It's snowing outside, but it's 105 degrees in the car because Cecil Peoples had that. And we're like, please, I'll go. And Antonio was just dude, he was just ruthless on Cesar Peoples. He was talking about throwing N-bombs.
Yeah.
He was throwing N-bombs, but man, I don't know how he lived in Alabama and didn't get hung out there. And I'm like, oh my God. So we get to the airport. Jesse buys us all lunch, and all that. And Antonio, I'm not going to say he's Muslim, but he doesn't eat pork or nothing like that. So Jesse Juarez orders him carnitas, tacos de carnitas. And he's like, don't tell him anything, don't tell him anything. So he eats like 2 or 3 tacos of carnitas and all that. He goes, that's pork that you ate, right? And he goes, what? He goes, Fabi, is he lying? I'm like, I don't know. He's lying. So that was probably one of the best times I've ever had because we had so much, we had the belt and, you're walking through the airport with the belt and everybody's like, hey, what's up, man? That's the champ right there, man,
Yeah.
So, and just a 2-hour car ride with Antonio McKee felt like 10 minutes. I mean, because it was just so much, and he's telling me, Fabi, man, you got to do this, and if you promote this, and it was just all the way up there. And then talking about Cesar Peoples, it made us roll down the windows and not worry about the heat. So I see big things for AJ McKee in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And he has other fighters, but he concentrates his efforts into him. I asked him about Jesse Juarez the other day. He said, I'd love to bring him in as a coach, now and really start to work him. So I think that's what's going to happen. Jesse kind of faded away from King of the Cage and is kind of doing his own thing right now. So I think it would be great for him to be a coach.
Yeah. Where's his brother Steve?
Which one?
Jesse's
Jesse
brother
Juarez.
Steve.
The one that plays football?
Yeah, he did. A big one.
A big brother, yeah. Literally.
He was like he was like all the rage in the papers and all that.
He did his pro eval with us.
Yeah.
And it was either me or Hetty that was supposed to be his pro eval partner. And then Hetty was like, I got this. All right. And then that dude started donkey punching Hetty and
like Conor McGregor did Mayweather?
Yeah, but on the ground. He started oh, that's not good.
Hey, that's awesome though. But good times. I really would like to have gotten our guest who was supposed to be here today to talk a little bit about Bellator because I think it's good that Bellator's around. I would like to see them kind of prosper a little bit so the guys have, a little more something. It's kind of like in pro wrestling. WWE is the top of the food chain. Everybody wants to be there, and they have such control over stuff. So I would like to see Bellator, or like we're talking about World Series of Fighting.
World Series of Fighting, yeah.
Places like that. Just flourish so the guys, so they have some place to go. So definitely look forward to that. We'll keep up with. Maybe I say we get him in here. I'm telling you, we bring Antonio McKee in here, AJ McKee. The show will go 4 hours.
Or you can just put De Lo in there and Antonio.
Oh my God! I can only imagine
I've seen a little clip of it. It's funny.
Yes,
I've seen it in person. How they go at it just a little bit. That's how oh, dude.
So we'll have to do something, but we'll definitely get him in here. I've had him a couple times on my Wednesday show. I went to Metroflex and interviewed him over there and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But so we'll see what happens with that. But go ahead.
Did he have Tyron Woodley with him a long time ago too?
Oh well, yeah, long time ago. And I think Kimbo Slice's son, if he bears down and kind of listens to what he kind of goes off from what Antonio's trying to show him.
Yeah.
I think if he bears down and listens to him, he could be something too, man. Those guys don't mess around. Speaking of heat, is it hot in here? Because I'm fat. It is hot.
It's a little warm.
You got 1, 2.
What happened to the
3,
AC?
4, 5,
Did it break?
6 lights.
Dude,
lights.
what's
on.
up, man?
And
Just
giant
are the soccer people taking the whole air conditioning? But anyways, real quick for the people listening to us, you're here. You're at Full Contact Fun-Addicts. Got Miguel over here. No Dando today, and of course Robert back there bringing us in and out, working the controls. Just turning the air on when we only got
now we're talking
15 minutes left
yep.
or whatever. So. We talk a lot about the pay-per-views and stuff, how it's good to get them, and sometimes, you gamble or whatever. I don't think it was worth $100, but it was pretty good as far as pay-per-view. At least I got to see.
It was all right. Did you catch any of the undercard fights?
I can't say it was okay, man.
I don't know. I'm going to give my honest opinion.
And the kid, I wanted the kid from Costa Rica or whatever.
Yeah, and he quit and whatever.
Boxing has been like that forever. You know what I mean? This guy, the guy he fought, they said he had a cold, but he didn't make weight, and it was a whole mess. So, and honestly, it seemed like nobody really cared. They were just waiting for the main event or whatever. So, I would say,
like you mentioned earlier, not to sound biased, and I know people have their opinions on Arum and De La Hoya promotions.
Yeah.
I feel that at least their undercard fights are super exciting.
Absolutely.
In particular,
we talk about that here. They know what to look for.
Yeah.
You know, that's a proven fighter and a promoter who could, you know, he can go to him and say, hey, Bob, put this kid, man. He can go.
the last fight, I think, I can't remember. What's the guy's name from Montreal? Was it David Lemieux? No, the boxer, dude.
David Lamazo, he went back to
Jeez, dude.
UFC.
No, there's he fought on the
Mario
last
Lemieux?
Canelo card.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is they know what to look
What
for.
they look what to
That's
look for
why.
exactly. That's yeah.
I mean, you know, Mayweather, I think he's just going to try to push his boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyways, UFC Fight Night coming up. I was checking it out in case our guest didn't show up, which kind of happened. So, dude, this card. Okay, you got Joe Loazan and Clay Guida. It's going to be the main. Clay Guida is kind of on a, I don't want to say comeback because he hasn't really veered off too much, but he went back to Team Alpha Male.
That's about
and
that.
started working with, and he looked great in his last
yeah.
fight. So they're bringing him into the main event. He's going to fight Joe Loazan, who always comes to fight. I think he's got the record for the most.
Why do I
bonus.
feel like they fought before?
They did, didn't they? I believe they did.
Pull it up,
And
Robert. What's up?
And I believe Lozon choked out Clay Guida, if I'm not mistaken. Robert's going to pull it up right now. So
Okay.
that's cool.
I was like, so
I'm going to look for, but see, now again, I can't even remember who Clay Guida used to train with. I know he was in a mobile home or an RV, and he was traveling all around and stuff like that.
It was Jackson for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he left over there and he went to Team Alpha Male, and it was a different Clay Guida in that last fight. Did you pull it up who his last fight was?
Who, Clay?
Yeah.
I did not. I was looking up Joe. Let me look at Clay.
But did Joe, Joe did fight
Did they
Clay
fight though?
Guida.
Have they fought before? No?
Maybe not. Maybe they fought on the same card
Wow.
or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like they fought before, but
Yeah,
maybe not.
me too for
Yeah.
some reason. But anyways, that'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
Clay Guida's really coming like almost a 180 and just totally different fighter, getting different looks. When you're training with Uriah and Galbraith and Justin Buchholz is one of the
Buchholz, yeah.
coaches and stuff like that. That's
You even got the little guy, Benavidez.
Joseph Benavidez and Danny Castillo, one of the coaches. So, like you said, you're getting different looks or whatever. You're training with those guys on a daily basis. The proof is in the pudding right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Joe Lozon, that's a whole different story. That guy's got, ground
got
game
killer
for
jiu-jitsu, yeah.
So it's going to be amazing to see. What did you come up with, Robert?
He fought Eric Koch.
Oh yeah. Big, tall dude and everything, and put it on him.
Yeah.
Took him down, pounded him out. Really looked. Not like a totally different fighter because he's always been, real go ahead.
But he looked definitely sharper.
He looked a lot better. So,
know.
great matchup for him.
Yeah.
Against Joe Lawson. I'm looking forward to that. Now, Anthony Pettis against Dustin Poirier. I guess they've been kind of having a little bit of beef back and forth.
I think
whatever.
that's going to be a sick fight.
That's going to be a good point. Always comes to fight, man. That's going to be a great fight. And I was talking to Aaron when Aaron was here. On the Wednesday show. I was talking to Aaron, and Matt Brown against Diego Sanchez at 170.
Oh, dude. Matt Brown is going to be humongous.
You see what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, Matt Brown is no joke, man. That dude is, the only people he lost to is, big time champions.
Super bad
And
at MFers, yeah.
Yeah, man, that dude's nobody to mess around with. And we talked about it before. Oh, man. And I've said it time and time again. I love Diego, man. You're going to get a fight when he's on. But, dude, he's just taking so much punishment and, dropped to 145. And then he went back to 155. Now he's going to take a fight at 170 against Matt Brown. My only hope is that Jackson Wink and all them are saying, look, man, let's just try to close the distance and get it to the ground.
Yeah.
Because if he stands with them, he got knocked out in his last fight with, who'd he fight? And he knocked him out.
Robert?
No, it's the kid from New York, Matt Serra and them's fighter.
Oh, Iaquinta
or whatever. So, and that was at 155. So 170 against Matt Brown. Diego, I love you, man. I do. I really wish you would just open up your own gym or train people at Jackson Winklejohn or whatever, because he's done, original Ultimate Fighter or whatever. But against Matt Brown, dude, I just do not see it. I mean, is it unanimous or does anybody think the other way?
I'm in the same boat with him and BJ Penn. You know,
I'm gonna side with Diego on this one only because Matt Brown is a little slow.
But we talked about it earlier in the show. You know, the fighters always think they have one more left in them or whatever. You know, maybe Diego does, but against Matt Brown, I mean, that dude's no joke, man.
But like you said, if Diego gets him down, right, sticks to that game plan, gets him down. You saw Damian. Well, I know Damian Maia is a completely different animal, but you saw what Damian Maia did to Matt Brown.
But this is how I think it goes. I think Jackson Winklejohn, all of them, they get and they said, "Look, Diego, you got hands. Let's throw some punches. Let's close the distance. You get in close, get him to the ground. Let's work, you know, whatever." I think he goes, yeah, good idea. I think he gets to the octagon and it's just boom, bacatelas, and they just get going. And all that goes out the window, and Diego starts throwing hands and punching in his chest, and let's go. I mean, agreed?
I agree. It's happened.
That's Diego. But I mean, then again, if he gets back to that old school, like when he came off the Ultimate Fighter and he tries to just bowl through people and take them down, mount them, and then ground and pound.
Right.
That's good. But one thing everybody does know about Matt Brown lately is if you watch his fights, he has, I don't know if he has his ribs are injured a lot, but
he's a slow starter.
Something with his body.
Now when
hard over there.
When TJ Dillashaw and Cody Galbraith were the coaches for the Ultimate Fighter, Matt Brown was with Team Alpha Male.
Was he?
Yeah, he was one of the coaches with them. So I don't know if he's over there now or whatever. I don't know. I just remember seeing him out there with Team Alpha Male.
Was he with Alpha Male or
or was he with Dillashaw? Am I backwards?
Dillashaw, yeah.
Am I backwards?
I think he's Colorado now.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. He was with Dillashaw and them. I think so. I remember. So he's, Dwayne Ludwig maybe working with him or whatever. That could all come into play too. We'll see because they'll have the all access or whatever leading up to it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. If it goes a 3-round decision and nobody takes too much punishment, I'll be happy with it. I just don't want to see him get pounded.
Oh, they're going to pound each other.
Oh, yeah, they will. Yeah.
That's
all they know.
Yeah, that's all they know. Matt Brown goes forward and attacks and goes as hard as he can until somebody stops him. That's how he is.
So, Nina Ansaroff against Angela Hill. Angela Hill's been looking pretty good in her last couple of fights. Yeah. I think the haircut has caused a wind reduction, and she's a lot faster now.
Streamline.
And she gets in there. But, Nina Ansaroff, good fighter. Angela Hill really starting to show some skills or whatever. I think it's going to be a good fight. For some reason, Angela Hill just can't close the show. So I think Ansaroff's going to take a 3-round decision. What do you think?
And I'm going to go with the same statement I said earlier. It's where you train. She's with ATT. Her significant other is Nunes, right?
Right.
So they also got JJ.
They might be getting up in the middle of the night going, "Let me try this hold" or whatever. Hey, I mean, you never know. That's what's happening. They're always talking. And when you have your significant other is somebody who they know, they understand. I'm cutting weight. Put the donuts away, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it might benefit her because she knows what's happening. She's got somebody that's kind of on her side, or whatever.
Yeah, and I think like that vibe, the positivity, that air of like I'm with the champion type thing just spreads, right?
Angela Hill was on the Ultimate Fighter, and they were like, she's farting in the bedroom, get her out, and it was funny the first 50 times, throwing her out the van and stuff like that. So I don't know, what she's got going on. That was probably one of the best ones. It was Carla Esparza, it was Angela Hill, it was what's her name from Jeff Curran's stable or whatever. It was just a lot of really good.
The Bulldog.
Yeah, it was a lot of really good fighters or whatever. So there's no nothing better than experience. When you training with people like that, on just like when Rhonda and Misha were coaches. That's good training, good experience or whatever. So she's been looking a lot better. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's like you said, coming from ATT, that's good. Look at the people who train out there, who you're training with.
Yeah, I mean, Johanna.
Even what's her name? Tiny Tornado?
Tisha Torres.
Dude, look how much she's improved. Dude, she used to come on my show constantly. She got into the top 10 or whatever. Won't even return my phone call. Hey, I'm just putting it out there. So then the last one I want to talk about, Court McGee against Sean Strickland. Now, Sean Tarzan Strickland, he started out at Millennia MMA. Oh, and then he kind of moved over. Is he Black House now?
I think he's with Dan Henderson.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, dude, good fighter, but he kind of, went up against some bigger. I was thinking maybe big fish in a small pond, but he's still, he's still up there. He's still got now. Court McGee, is he the only one left from Chuck Liddell and them's?
I think so.
Kempo or whatever out there.
Yeah, I think he's one
and
of the.
And that guy will surprise you, man. A lot of times I think, man, that guy's gonna get killed, but he comes to fight, and sometimes he looks like a world beater, and then sometimes it's like, dude, what happened? So I'm thinking this might be Sean Strickland's breakout fight. What do you think?
I'm a big fan of Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a local guy, King Cage. I mean, I've watched him.
Exactly.
Watched him. So I got to root for the hometown guy that I know of. I mean,
exactly.
I know that I guess San Luis Obispo is still California, but
yeah,
I gotta go with Sean Strickland. He's young, man.
Do they still Hackelman and them still? Do they still have people in their camp?
I've never even heard his name in a very long time.
Dude, we're working for Tap Up. John Hackelman's out there with Chuck Liddell. Mass says, "Hey man, let's get Hackelman on tape or whatever." Hammered, dude, hammered. So I always use Sergio as my, because he was always saying, "Oh, I could beat everybody up" and all this stuff. Another quick story: we're in the press lounge for the UFC, dude. The guy finally got annoyed with me because that was my first time in the press lounge, and they're bringing all these papers and giving you all this stuff, and then they bring out a big table with Starbucks and cookies and all this stuff and all that, and I'm telling the guy, "Hey, can we have something?" He goes, "Dude, your press, have whatever you want." So Phil Baroni comes by with the other, I can't remember that little Morenito's name that was coming with them. And, Baroni was, boom, dude, he was all cut up. They were cutting across to go take pictures. So I see him and I go, "Hey, Phil, good luck, bro," or whatever. And he goes, "Hey, thanks a lot." And I go, "Dude, right here says he'll kick your ass." And Sergio goes, "I didn't say that, man." And he looked like that. And I go, "Go ahead, dude." I go, "You said you can kick everybody's ass." He goes, "Yeah, but not him." And I go, "You can't pick and choose who you want, dude." And he goes, "He's just playing, man. He's just playing, dude." And Baroni's like, "Pfft." And he walks off and goes in there. So that was when Tito fought Chuck the first time. That was the first time we got to go.
Oh, wow.
They had a separate elevator that took you up to the. We were way up there, but we had our own little area for the press. It was really cool. So I go, "You know what? I'm not gonna stay out here for the main event. I'm gonna go watch it in the press lounge because it's gonna be packed after." So we go down. So Randy Couture's walking Dan Henderson in there, and Dan Henderson is just hammered, dude. I mean, he can barely walk. So Couture has him by his arm or whatever, and he's telling him, "Come on, man, just get some coffee or whatever." So stupid me, I walk up there, I go, "Come on, Dan, I'll buy it for it." And he did one of these, and puts his hand back. He would do it. He was gonna punch me right there, and I'm like, and Randy grabbed me and goes, "Hey man, you might want to go sit down, bro." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry." And I went to sit, but it was just one of the things just went. Well, almost got beat up, and Sergio I almost got him beat up. But anyways, Hackelman's there, and he's got these two. Well, I don't want to put anybody on blast or whatever, but friends with him. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, this is my dream, man. Jose and Jose B and all that." So we're talking. I'm saying, "You think you still got it?" And all. He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Well, why don't you try to my?" Bam!
Oh.
He cracks Sergio. Boom. I go, "All right, man." I go, "Well, we'll take it back to you guys or whatever." And we stopped filming, and it was Scrape that was for doing the camera. So I turn around. I go, "Sergio, did he crack me?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude, he cracked me." That was
the teeth.
Hand was all full of blood. He goes, "Dude, he cracked me right in the mouth."
Oh, man.
So Hackelman starts to walk off, and Mass goes, "Let's do it again. Let's do it." Oh shit! Again. So he was real cool, man. It was fun or whatever. But anyways, the point where we started from was, are they? Because that used to be the thing out there, right? Out there in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, that was his thing. Yeah, the pit or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do remember watching his son fight recently.
Right.
So maybe his son, I guess, is still.
Well, of course he's going to be training there.
Yeah, his
But
son, hasn't fought in 3 years now, I guess.
Maybe we could take a trip out there and go check it out.
I'm so
I'll be down for that.
I'll take
so
Sergio if you want to relive the
Oh yeah.
punch in the
No. We don't need Sergio. We got John. We got Dondo now.
Perfect.
Somebody can punch Dondo in the face. That's
Perfect.
funny.
Because we did the filming for when Tap Out was on Versus. And they went out there and showed, how they go out in the woods and, and stuff.
I saw that episode. That episode was awesome. That they did the monkey in the middle on that episode.
Yes.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did. And I think Antonio Banuelos was training out there, Chuck, and they had a bunch of different people. So at one time, it was, it was
a big camp or
absolutely,
whatever. Yeah,
absolutely. So
they had what's the other guy's name? Glover too. Remember
Glover Teixeira?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm
Casey
talking
Olsen.
about. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what the people want to see. We talk about it, so we should go down there and go, yeah, it still is going on or whatever. Hackelman's still teaching the Kempo or whatever. Maybe we could see Chuck out there or whatever. So Hackelman, we're on our way, bro. Sergio no more, so we'll bring Dr. So if you want to warm up or whatever, get ready and we'll be on there. You down for something like that?
Yeah, I'm always down to.
He's always down to travel. I'd say.
Perfect. Well, how far is San Luis Obispo from here?
Probably 2 hours.
Is it just 2 hours?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Well,
Santa Barbara-ish.
Okay, sweet.
So we'll have to wait after hip surgery because I'm only good for about an hour in the car right now.
Yeah, well, I
Or can you lay me out in the van?
No, you got hip surgery. I got baby on the way. So.
Okay, we'll see. Perfect. So Hackelman gives you time to get ready for us or whatever. We'll come down and check it out. But that's what I'm talking about. People want to see, hey, is that still going on? They're still training in out there in the woods and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool when it came out on Versus. Sergio and I didn't actually get to go to that one, but we went to other ones. But that one in particular was pretty cool.
You know what happens when you get all the way over there? Miguel's like, can you drive a little further, like 5 hours more, so I can see Kurt?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that? So, anyways, it remains to be seen. I mean, so much that we had to cover with the McGregor and stuff like that. I mean, we could probably go for 2 hours talking about.
Easy.
So for our guest who didn't show, what was his name? Curtis Millender. You missed out, bro. We had a bunch of stuff to talk about.
We forgot 4 King of the Cage tickets.
Oh. Real quick before we get out of here.
Forget again.
Mike Lowe, who's the promoter, there's different areas, and Mike Lowe has this area out here. John Judy has out there, Albuquerque, New Mexico, stuff like that, and Jeff Mahalik has way out there in the Midwest and East Coast. So he comes to the wrestling yesterday, and he's like, dude, I got tickets, man. Let's give some tickets away. And I'm like, well, he talked to Robert. He's like, hey, we'll save a couple. We'll give a few away on the show. So it's Saturday, September 2nd, which is this Saturday, right?
Yep.
Saturday, September 2nd at the Ontario.
There we go. There's 3.
Citizens Bank Arena. You can check that out right there.
Bam. Read them and wheat.
All right.
There it is.
So, Robert, what do they need to do if they want these tickets?
Send me an email at admin@fanbase.com.
Admin@fanbase.com.
FAMBASED.
Okay, so FamBase. Admin@fanbase.com. If you want to send Robert an email, I'll tell you what. If you send Robert an email and tell him how awesome the show is, and that they want to keep Fabiano on for a long time, bam. Well, you're gonna go 2 and 2. You're gonna go all 4. What you gonna do here?
Let's go 2 and 2.
These are all general admission, but at the Citizens Bank Arena
There's
in
not
Ontario,
a bad seat in the house.
Absolutely, and especially because you got the cage, right? And when I'm doing the show, I'm sitting right in front, so it's cool. But you start to branch out a little bit. You still have a pretty good view. But as it starts to go up, and you're more even with the cage, you can see quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Or even if you're up a little higher, you're seeing over the cage. It's like you said. There's not just because we're here, but there's not a bad seat in the house. So you're gonna go 2 and 2, Robert. Are you going all 4? We're going all in. Okay. So 2 tickets, general admission, which I think is the concourse. That's right around, so you're going to be just a little bit above the cage. But seriously, at the Citizens Bank in Ontario, not a bad seat in the house. You can make a whole day. You can go to Millennia MMA, which is just down the street from there. If you want to go early, go check out the fighters over there. There's Ontario Mills Mall. That's right in that same area. Or Victoria Gardens. Victoria Gardens is right across the street from Millennia MMA. They got a Lucille Steakhouse. There's Bass Pro Fishing Shop if you want to go early and go. Have you had the catfish from Bass Pro?
I haven't, no.
Dude, let me tell you something. Sergio, my other radio partner, lives in Hemet. And so when we meet at the Bass Pro Fishing Shop. And he says, hey, you got to try the catfish, dude. It's slamming. And I go, all right. He goes, and I'm paying, so you don't have to get the special or whatever. Get what you want. So I got the catfish, and it was slamming. I mean, I don't know if you would think of Bass Pro, but they really have a nice restaurant in there, and it's awesome. So you can spend the whole day. You can go to Bass Pro Fishing. You can go to if you don't like that, Victoria Gardens is right next to it. There's a Lucille's right there. Of course, there's Starbucks and everything,
in between,
there. And if you can walk the Ontario Mills Mall and still have enough stamina to go watch the fights, dude, that's in a cup because that Ontario Mills Mall is huge. So make sure you go check it out. Carlos Rivera, that's the matchmaker for that area. Mike Lowe, who's the promoter, huge. Those guys know what they're doing. They know how to make good matchups. That fight's going to be slamming. So don't forget, it's this Saturday, September 2nd. It's at the doors open at 4 o'clock. The first fight starts at 5 p.m. It's at the Citizens Bank Arena in Ontario. It's going to be slamming, man. Look, got 4 tickets right here, 2 and 2. You could take somebody, or hey, whatever you want to do. You want to take the significant other, or you want to take a friend. It's slamming, man. Unfortunately, I won't be announcing that one. It's going to be Dean or whatever. So, but still, come and check it out. I talked to Mike yesterday. He says, "Are you going to come?" I said, "Well, because I'm going to PCW. The wrestler that I had on last week. He's got a big show at Iguana Kelly's, and my daughter bought tickets, and it's an 8-minute Uber ride from where we're at. So it's like right there. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go to this one. But what about you guys? Going to? We were talking before we came on. Robert said, "Yeah, you're going to head out there."
We're going. That's right.
So you got to go check it out. I'm telling you, man, not just because I work for the company or whatever. The fights are always, they deliver. I can't remember the girls' bout. Can you pull up the girls' bout real quick before we get out of here? That they're going to have, is it Beat McGuinn? I think that's fighting on there or whatever. Let me pull up that real quick so I can tell you. I know who we got there for the girls.
We got Arcio and Rob.
Oh, Cassie Robb. Cassie Robb is on that card. She's coming to fight. That's going to be a slamming fight. What's that one on the bottom right there?
Arredondo and Trevino.
Okay, Arredondo and Trevino.
And then Jason Ellis is
and is it Archuleta that's in the main?
No, it's I believe it's Jason Ellis. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was Jason Ellis.
Okay, well just go to kingofthecage.com and you can check it out. Luckily, King of the Cage is on MAV TV every Monday. They had the fights on today. I called my wife from work and I said, "Can you check out the credits and make sure that I'm still the announcer on there?" And fortunately, it was. It said Dean Stone, Dan Torres, which is my real name. Everybody, but they even call me Favi Chulo on the when they show him on MAV TV. But you call my house and ask for Dan, they're gonna go, "Who's that?" Oh, you mean Favi? Yeah, he's here. So it's Favi Chulo. But anyways, hey man, doesn't get any better than that. 2 tickets. Email at admin@fanbase, okay? Let Robert know that you checked out the show. You want 2 of the tickets. We'll hook you up. You'll see those guys over there for sure. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Right, Robert?
Yep.
Cool.
Beautiful. So with all that being said, hey, we appreciate you coming checking out Full Contact Fanatics. Miguel, always a pleasure to talk. We worry, a guest didn't show up, but we can go 2 hours, dude, because there's always so much going on in the world of MMA and boxing and Bellator and all that stuff. So we'll talk a little LFA next week, because how they merged Resurrection Fighting Alliance and what's the other one? Legacy, or whatever, merged into one. Mark Bieri is one of the matchmakers. He used to work for On the Mat. He used to run the Vegas store back then. So we talk about good matchmaking and stuff like that. Of course, Ed Soares, who runs Black House and everything. You're always going to have good matchups and everything right there. We should get Ed Soares on this show.
If you can get him on, I'd love to have him.
You know what? I'll give him a call so we can get him down here on a Monday night. I will go and pick you up. Okay, I will go and pick you up in my 88 Hyundai Excel with the sunroof, and we'll have a good time. And I'll even buy you some tacos.
I'll buy him the tacos.
Perfect. Hey, so we look forward to it. So for the people listening to the Full Contact Fanatics, make sure you email admin@fanbase. Get the tickets. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. You'll see Miguel over there. You see Robert Dando going to be there.
Yep.
He should be there.
Yep.
Yeah, so go and check it out. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I promise I'll be at the next one. So with all that being said, Full Contact Fanatics, make sure you're here next Monday, 8. We'll go to about 9:15 again next week so we can talk. We'll have Dondo here, so we might go till 9:30. Correct?
Whatever. He's going to talk about Cancun.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to try his jiu-jitsu on some of the wildlife.
So we'll mix it up. We'll put a Cancun background, and then we'll talk a little Cancun before we get into some fights. We'll talk about some of the results from some of the fights, and we'll be good to go.
Do it.
Sir.
All right, Robert, get us heck out of here. I'll see everybody next Monday. Don't forget, Full Contact Fun-Addicts every Monday, 8 to 9. We're talking about merging. We're going to, just go ahead and do this together. We'll go out and do some video, and we'll be right back here next Monday. Full Contact Fun-Addicts. See you guys.
Peace.
Peace and a bottle of hair grease.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.